doing with this? You did, mommy. Very nice. Thank you. J for juice. Juice. L for lion. Roar. Lion. Roar. Long nails. Mommy can give you a whole manicure. All done. So I got Royce these liquid vitamins. We gonna trick his ass today. Let's see if he drinks it. Hey, we have a success. Hey there, so welcome to day 9 of Vlogmas. Today is a type of day where I really just go to work and work, right? Before that, I usually just bring Royce to school. I get my breakfast ready and things like that, or lunch or whatever, but nothing spectacular. So I wanted to take this time to talk about a little something, a little off the cuff, something that I've been struggling with for a little while now. Something that manifested in my childhood and carried over into my adulthood. And it is infecting me? No, it's affecting me in a lot of different ways. And that thing is knowing when to ask for help. Not just when to ask for help, just asking for help in general, because I don't. I always feel icky. Excuse you? I always feel icky when I ask for help. Like, that's how I feel on the inside whenever I'm in a position where I need to ask for help. And one out of two things happen. One, it'll take over me and I just won't ask for help and I'll just do whatever it is I need help with by myself, which ends up in frustration and feeling overwhelmed. Or two, I think about the act of asking for help for so long, like it takes me a whole bunch to muster up the courage and energy to ask for help, that I one, either ask for the help, or two, I end up still not asking for the help because it took too much time, right? And it really cripples my mental load, right? Because I'm taking too much on by myself, even though I know I have people around me who are more than willing to help. But in my past, in my childhood, I was very independent. I was very on my own. And in instances when I would ask for help, it would turn out with me being rejected, right? So in order to avoid rejection now, I avoid those vulnerable moments of asking for help, because I view asking for help as someone being vulnerable and saying, okay, I can't do this alone, or admitting that they cannot do this alone. But because I've been rejected so much, it's like ingrained in me just to not ask for help, and that things are always better when you do it yourself, right? To a certain extent, sure, but it's too much for one person to bear. It's too much for one person to bear. And then with that, since I don't ask for help, then in my head, people don't help me. But it's really because I'm not asking. How are they supposed to know what I need if I don't ask for it, right? It's like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna ask for help. This person should know what I need help with, regardless of who it is. If they have eyes, they can see that I need help. But that's not the case. That's not the case. Because if I were to switch the roles, I can't always tell when somebody needs help, because some of the times people look like they're doing fine. They don't look like they need help. But internally, like in their mind, they're like, oh my God, I'm about to go freaking insane because this is too much. But people are not mind readers. And I always tell others that, but I need to take heed to my own advice. I realize that I help people, but I help people because they ask for my help. It's taking me a while to make that connection, because then in turn, I don't want to say resenting people, but I'm feeling a type of way because in my head, I'm like, wow, I help this person so much, or these people, and nobody helps me. But it's because they ask for help and I do not. That's the fundamental difference. It is something that I am trying to change and get over, but it's so hard because for me, it requires vulnerability. And it requires safety in knowing that I won't be rejected most of the time. And most of that is in my head, which makes it even more interesting because it's like I'm controlling 90% of it, right? I'm controlling my own mind. I'm controlling the thoughts that I have on why I don't ask for help and why I should ask for help. But that 10%, the other person that I'm asking, I can't control their answer. And even though it's a small percentage, that shit scares me. Because then I'm in the mind state of, if I ask for help and this person says no, it puts me back in that mind frame of when I was little or when I was younger, that I have to do things on my own because the people that are supposed to be closest to me don't even want to help me. It's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's a battle, but it's something I very recently had a revelation about. Let's just say that this year, like the past 2 years or so, I've been taking a deep dive or making connections to my past and how it has shaped me as a person and how that affects me in my life today. And I'm a very firm believer of your past does not control you. Your past does not determine your future. You determine your future. And that's where self-awareness comes in. If you are self-aware, then you know how those things impact your present day and how that can impact your future. You have to be aware enough to know and willing enough to fix it. Your life is your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility as an adult. As a child, that's different. But once you become an adult, that's it. You cannot blame anybody else for your shortcomings. You cannot. You can acknowledge the part that they may have played in you becoming that way or doing that thing or thinking this way. But you have to acknowledge the fact that you're the one that can change that now. You're the one that can look up the resources, look up the information, do anything that you can to change for the better or not be the way that you don't want to be, right? But if you sit around and you start blaming everybody else for your issues that you have control over, then It don't work like that. But it also, because I don't necessarily blame other people, but you're also just putting so much pressure on yourself and fighting yourself so much internally that it just becomes so exhausting and so tiring. So someday you just have to get up and like, I'm gonna make this change. And yeah, like that's it. I'm gonna make this change, and this is what it's gonna be from this day forward. And make sure you're putting in that effort to be the person that you want to be. And sometimes that requires being vulnerable. A lot of the times that requires being vulnerable and being okay with rejection, because you know that people have lives and they have limitations, and they may not be able to help you in the way that you're asking, right? Not that they don't want to, they just may not be able to at that moment. And that's okay. Not judging anyone for telling you no. That's gonna be the hard part for me. And getting out of my own head, because I overthink so much. It be putting me in situations that are non-situations. And I literally do it to myself. So I need to get out of my head, ask for help when I need it, and life will be better. This was just like a little word to myself in order for me to like get it out. Realize what my thought process and what I'm thinking, and then hopefully somebody else can relate to it. That'd be cute. But anyways, we're gonna close out day 9. Tomorrow, I should be going to go see the Beyonce movie with my friend Sierra. See y'all tomorrow, Vlogmas day 10.